So I'd like to talk about worry. If you are a mother and you have feelings of being alone without, whether it's true or not, this is a feeling for you. And I say whether it's true or not because there may be people in your life who really want to come in, but you have a great feeling, you carry a feeling of aloneness in your heart. And so whether it's true or not, maybe it is. Maybe there are some other permutations of truth trying to get through, but your everyday experience is of feeling like you are the village for your children. You're mothering alone. Or you're mothering in defense against energies around you, whether that be family members or who else, where you feel actually that you have to kind of protect your children. And that a lot of your mothering energy is simply into kind of propping up again. And so you might feel drained, exhausted, moments of disheartenment, despair, frustration, deeply repressed rage. And in these moments, maybe you just, and also just, I think a very real thing that many mothers are mothering in isolation or alone. They don't have kind of that ally, that person who just speak to you at the end of a day or share concerns. And there's not a feeling of safety, of being held. And so if any of that speaks to you or is true for you, then I think worry can be something that we experience and struggle with. And it's kind of so insidious sometimes we don't even realize we're worrying until we're kind of, until we're aware. So I wanted to share some things. One, just to use this video as a holding place, an acknowledgement, a kind of, I go there too. I have that. Big time, hugely. And to the degree I'd say that I think I can see more clearly now than ever how it can kind of get really prevalent in my mind-heart space and take over and cause, just be really exhausting. So if we go back to this idea of attention being the most powerful ally that we have, our awareness, our attention. And so a beautiful lesson I learned from a woman called Simone de Hoog, who has Powerwood Camp. I can share the link. She and I, we used to have Skype sessions weekly, bi-weekly, for about 4 years. And something she taught me was about this idea of being overly invested in your child's emotional state. She said, Laura, your job as a mother is not to raise happy children. It's to raise resilient children. And I forget this all the time. So even just to kind of like, when the fishing line's gone out and you've hooked a worry fish and it's flashing all over the place, to just acknowledge, my child is struggling. Maybe this struggle is the chrysalis that this butterfly is needing to go through. This caterpillar is needing to go through in order to become the butterfly that he is going to be at the end. And that rather than kind of trying to make everything right and then after you've been with them worry and ruminate about it and rail and struggle against all that you blame, because that can also be, I think, a bedfellow of worry. Blame, when we're feeling powerless, we can often go to blame when we have yet to acknowledge the truth that we are much more powerful and empowered and wise and resourced than we appreciate. Then, to something I've just been considering, and then we come back to again this idea of attention, just like tuning in and to being present and to focusing on to being, and to recognizing. Then we can look again at the situation with the right brain, bigger picture, calmer perspective, and we realize, and this is next thing I learned from Dr. Cully Brogan, This idea of just feeling the feelings, not doing the feelings, feeling them. And it's quite extraordinary. I forget it all the time, but I'm sharing it because it's so powerful, and the more of us do it, the more of us we make the remembering of all of us collectively to just do it easier. Do it easier. That's that. So yeah, then when you feel this anxiety, whether you're in the middle of the night or when your child is struggling, and then the brain is catastrophizing, the brain kind of jumps in of like, oh my God, the situation is terrible. Oh my God, this is going to be, it catastrophizes. We simply feel the worry. Instead of doing the worry, instead of, throwing our energies in, getting over invested, we feel it. And just notice, try it. This lovely thing in yoga, we can kind of say, okay, you're a warrior pose. And we can break every single aspect of our instructions as yoga teachers down. And this is what you'll feel, Or we can simply give the very basics, the essentials, I learned this from my yoga teacher, Godfrey Devereux. And I love it because there's such a poetry to it, and such a simplicity to it, which in my experience is a great truth in our lives. Poetry and simplicity. Broaden everything that can be broadened. Lengthen everything that can be lengthened. And ground everything that can be grounded. And obviously, if you've never practiced this kind of yoga, then that's going to be discombobulating and like, what? I need more instruction, I need more guidance, I need to be told what to do. But essentially coming to a place, if you're someone who did A-levels in England, that's sort of, you come to, I always loved it, just you come to that kind of final exam card and just, let's say history, and there are 5 words, and those 5 words speak to every single subject that you needed to revise. And so essentially that's what we're coming back to with our attention, rather than just splintering out and worry. Like, okay, just feel the worry. Notice what that does to you. I'm not going to tell you. I don't know. You're you, I'm me. Might have a sense. But really I just have an appreciation that your space is yours, mine is mine. And that between us is a very beautiful space wanting to open up when we allow it. And so, yeah, just speaking to all mums who are feeling overwhelmed, who are feeling like they're the village, just notice what happens when instead of doing the worry, we feel it. And it's really hard, especially when our children are, look like they're really suffering. But they also might just be reacting, to our habit of worry, which is like, oh, well, if I tell my mom this, she's going to go and sort it all out, and I'll just, that's what's meant to happen. When they can see that, wow, my mom's holding space. They can feel that. Just, again, notice what that does to them. Kelly Brogan speaks about it really beautifully in her book, Own Yourself, Own Your Life, her last book, just about an encounter she has with her child after moving and just being there. And it's kind of, she says, despite all her professional things that she's achieved, it's one of the biggest moments of inner reward she's ever had, just to be there, because it's so hard, and I think especially with everything going on in the world at the moment, and we all feeling worry, and it's something I'm literally grappling with the whole time of like, oh, I need to do more, and then I just tune my attention back to the moment, back to my body, and I notice all that I'm choosing to do with my time, with my energy, and that it links into what I care deeply about, and that I allow that to be enough for a second until the brain taps in and the nervous system spirals out again and again, and it's a habit, and we're reminding each other. So this video is in dedication to the habit of remembering and reminding each other to standing in the light and to feeling the worry, and then being whatever opens up out of that space, to all the wisdom that you are, have been, and always will be, to all the beauty and love that you have for your children, that your children have for you, that you have for the wildness and the mystery and the unsolvable and the way the streams flow and the oceans spread out, and eagles soar and light pours in no matter how tiny the crack is, to all that is resilient and robust and ever, is always going to regenerate. To be aware of the the terror and the panic that can be connected to worry, and what is the state that being and the feeling bring to you. And with much love, come to elfrater.com, go to the menu tab, Unconventional Mothering, subscribe, and you'll receive our newsletters, which will with all the updates from our unconventional allies. And come to our YouTube channel, come to our Instagram channel, share this with any mother who's your light, who you appreciate, any friend, or just keep it close in your own heart. And I love you very much. I think you're wise, I think you're wonderful. I would love ideally to meet you in the woods, and we'd dance and we'd howl and we'd clap and we'd drink tequila or water or chai tea, like a really good Indian chai. And our dogs would dance and the insects would soar and our children would laugh and hear our laughter. And with much love.